Welcome to the gold standard, Making Millions with Malia, the place to be for conscious CEOs and light leaders who know that they have an enormous mission that requires millions to fuel it. I am your host, Jennifer Longmore, Clear Channel for Mother Malia, along with being a long-standing 8-figure CEO, investor, and board advisor who is committed to creating as many conscious millionaires as I can in this lifetime, and to debunk the broke healer paradigm that tells you it is not benevolent to make millions doing spirit-led work. We are in the midst of individual and collective ascension, and as we ascend, so must the way that we do business and money as light leaders. That is what this show is all about. So tune in now and find out why we are ranked in the top 5% of global podcasts and why savvy CEOs just like you binge our show each week and share it as a high-value resource with their communities. Now let's dive into today's Making Millions broadcast. Welcome back, everyone, to the Scales series on the Gold Standard podcast, Making Millions with Mother Malia. I am Mother Malia, as you know, and we have been talking about various business models and how to scale them well beyond 7 figures. So today I want to talk to you about the MLM or network marketing business model and give you perhaps various perspectives on what to consider if you are already in one or you're considering, bringing one in. And so if you're considering bringing one in, you're likely having a personal brand or, by the way, you might have an actual storefront. By that, I mean a yoga studio, naturopathic clinic, or various things like that, where people come to see you in person. Perhaps they see you virtually as well, but you have some sort of physical location. And so often what will happen is when you are, let's say, a naturopath, massage therapist, a personal coach, a various personal trainer, various things, people that have MLM companies will approach you and say, hey, this product will really blend in nicely with what you're already offering. And I get that logic because if you have a large engaged email list, you can actually grow an MLM product-based business very quickly underneath your personal brand. And if you have a naturopathic clinic, I'm making this up, and then you say, okay, well, these shakes really help people lose weight, and I just get so many people coming to me to lose weight. Why not sell them this? At least I will monetize what they're already looking for. It can make sense. And as we know, there are a lot of people that have a bad taste in their mouth about MLM and network marketing. They can view it as cult-like, they can view it as a pyramid, they can view it as all kinds of things. And whether that is true or not, that is what you're up against. So when you align with a company that is a MLM company or network marketing, it can make you extra money. And you want to weigh that out with, is the cost benefit analysis of, yes, I might grow this to 10K a month in recurring revenue. When I bring it inside of an existing company, what is the impact potentially to my brand? Now, the reason I know this is because I have done this. Years ago, I joined a company called doTERRA, and I have no issue with doTERRA. I still order, I want to be very clear, I still order their products because I actually enjoy their products. I don't order all of them, of course, for the ones that I really like. I put lavender in my son's diffuser every night, various things, right? And I know it's a high quality product. I quite enjoy it. But I order actually quite a few things from there. And so I want to be very clear that the company has done nothing wrong. What happened was I found myself kind of stumbling into that. And yes, because I run a spiritual training school with people that are probably already buying oils, I said, okay, well, I'm already going to buy these, so I might as well sort of pay myself. And then many of my clients use oils, so why not? This is a very obvious natural fit. And then many of my clients are in a similar situation to me and have large and engaged communities running spiritual businesses who have people in their list that might like oils, so they might want to add this in as well for an additional revenue stream. And so I built that business very quickly to have a high 5-figure months, from residual income. And I will tell you what I did and why I did it. And I will tell you why I will never join a multi-level marketing company again. Even though I do admire the model, it is very helpful to people, and why I still coach people in that, and why I think, hey, if it is for you, great, but why I will personally never do it. Because what ends up happening is it's basically two businesses to promote for me when you are bringing it into an already established company is what I'm talking about, right? There's a certain minimum monthly spend. You really are responsible for your downline. And so what happens in these companies is the culture gets created such that your upline is meant to basically carry you. That's sort of it doesn't mean it's true, but that's sort of the belief that people will have in these companies, that it's the job of your upline, whoever enrolls you, to take full responsibility of you and basically build it for you, you know? And so that is why only about 1% of people that come into MLM are able to get beyond 5-figure months in residual income, because many people go in for the quick fix of, oh, look, it's going to give you all of this money. But what they don't tell you, and many of them will blatantly misrepresent to you how much time they spend in. I know many top line leaders in these companies will lie about how much time they actually spend and say, I only do this 1 hour a month, when meanwhile it is honestly about 80 hours a week when they were first building it. They don't tell people that. They say, hey, you can have a business like me. I only do this one day a week, and I'm a diamond leader, and I have 7 figures a year in residual income, or whatever the situation is. That is not true. And so while I do appreciate the model in the sense that, hey, nothing is going to kick up the issues in your tissues quicker than being in an MLM, because it is a business in a box. And so all you have to do is be comfortable putting yourself out there. But because you are up against this sort of Amway cult-like mentality that exists out there, and then, of course, there are many companies that are really, frankly, not above board. It can be very off-putting. People lose friends, they lose family members, they lose clients, etc., because it can feel very predatory. You can feel like people are pursuing you. Recently, I had a contact who had unfriended me a few years ago. Who knows why? And now I see that they're in a new MLM. And so they sent me a friend request last week. So I went on their profile to see what's going on with them now, and I noticed they have joined yet another new MLM, and I know exactly why they are reaching out to me, because I can feel the frequency, right? So I'm not interested in playing that game. If you've unfriended me because you no longer want to be connected, or I was not useful to you, and now you want to friend me again because I'm useful to you, any of us that are intuitive, we can smell that a mile away, can't we? So the point is that you have to really weigh out, because yes, if you know you're a high achiever and you really believe in the product that you're behind, you really feel good about the company, then yes, fill your boots, so to speak, go ahead. But you have to weigh that out with understanding that you're going to be up against a climate in the buying culture that says, no, thank you. And you really need to know what you're in the business of. So when I was in doTERRA, I was not in the business of selling products. I was in the business of selling memberships. That is where the money is in an MLM. Trying to enroll as many actual leaders as possible that are going to grow your downline, so to speak, very quickly. So if you are going to choose an MLM to bring into an existing company, or you're already in an MLM, what I would recommend focusing on is a product that is high demand, that has a good reputation, and or refillable products. So you see with doTERRA, after X amount of uses, my lavender is going to disappear. And if I really like the lavender, I have to buy it again, right? So yes, it is a product-based company. And yes, I want to make sure there's certain variables in place for the products that I'm going to, on some level, because I'm going to have to buy them too, right, in order to maintain my minimum monthly membership, etc., and to qualify for my checks and various things. So I have to believe in the product for sure. I have to already know I'm going to use it. Otherwise, I don't need to buy things just to have them collect in a closet. But the money is not in hosting a bunch of classes about here's how to cook with oils, here's how to create your fountain of youth with oils, etc. Yes, that can be helpful, But that is a similar thing to the business models where you're having to do Mary Kay products and gather everyone and basically make people feel guilty until they buy a $25 single-use eyeshadow that there's nothing special about it, and you can get it at your local drugstore for like $3.99. You know what I'm saying, right? And so that's a very slow way to build. And so the quickest way to build is by really already having a network of people that you know are just as motivated as you to build quickly and are, I will say, they're regulated enough that they're not going to constantly get frozen every time someone says no to them, right? They're not going to be talking a big game of rah, 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 yes, I'm going to join you and do this with you, that they actually have enough regulation within their system that even when they're getting no's, or even when they're getting ghosted, or even when people are saying, go away and I hate your guts, you're not my friend anymore, this is gross, or you're crazy, or you're joining a cult, or whatever they're going to say to you, you don't get affected by that. So it's about focusing on leaders and really building leaders and understanding that you can think that people are going to lead themselves, but the amount of time that you're going to need to pour into your downline, particularly your leaders, to keep people motivated, to keep them showing up so that it does not affect your rank, can be somewhat, I will say, demotivating or disillusioning, depending on the situation, right? It is a very unique model. And especially because, yes, you are building your commission. You're a commission-based salesperson, essentially, but you're ultimately building someone else's business. Right? You're, for all intents and purposes, basically an intrapreneur. You're not getting paid as an employee. You're getting paid as a subcontractor, essentially, that has agreed to sell on behalf of the company, provided that you do this, this, and this, and make sure you tell people this, and this about my product, etc. So yes, if you are a high achiever and you get into the space that's a company that's been around for a long time, that sells refillable products, that, the products are reputable, etc., and you focus on leaders, you can get to seven figures. You can definitely leap into seven figures. And perhaps you get assistants that also help you create ways to keep putting yourself in front of new potential enrollees. I will say, I see sometimes people do it through ads to fill their downline. Some people do it through, hiring people to literally recruit for them. Right. And sometimes they will do this by way of poaching high-level MLM leaders from other companies and giving them sort of a buyout and handling all the contract issues and the messy business, as long as they bring their entire, let's say, downline of 10,000 people with them to this new company, etc. So there are ways that you can do that. But again, you want to say, can I really live with that? Because, hey, if you've done that to someone else's downline in another company, it's the energetics of that. You invite in a very interesting energy into your own downline if you're going to do that, right? I often see people do that, and then some sort of snafu will happen in their own downline where someone will take their people, or someone in their crossline will take their people. Hey, that's not fair. Well, wait a minute. You had no problem in inviting that energy in, right? And so if the energetics are present in your downline where you are okay with poaching, then if you've got poaching infused in your downline, well, don't be surprised that it's happened. And so the third way I see people scaling an MLM beyond the seven figures is to then evolve into a personal brand, so that it's actually now your personal brand and people liking you, because that's really why they join you anyways. They have to like you for the most part. It's very rare you're going to have complete strangers join your downline. It will happen, but it's already usually people you know. So when you build a personal brand, then people have such a great relationship with you that eventually they say, you know what, I'll buy some oils from you, or you know what, I'm going to join you. This looks fun. Or I've been watching you and I see that you're having consistent six-figure months. I think I would like that as well. And then on your personal brand, you see, then you can sell beyond the MLM, and now you can potentially sell masterminds, or you can potentially coach other MLMs to get to a certain MLM business owners, get to a different level, or you can be an affiliate marketer and grow your email list and then sell other products on your list that are non-compete products, But that is kind of how I would see that happening. So if you are going to look for a company to do this with, I recommend that you do it with a company. You will often hear these, get it on the ground. This company is just opening. Well, good luck with that. Many of these companies are fly by night. I personally, if I were to do this again, which I won't, I would look for a company that has already been around for at least 5 years. They have already reached $1 billion in revenue, because then you know they are serious. I will like to know what their social causes are. So what percentage of money is going back to whatever, and is that aligned with what I want to do? Have the owners of this MLM owned any other MLMs before? How did they get into this? Because, we see this where these shake companies will pop up and they will recruit people, and you'll leave the downline, and then poof, all of a sudden your income is gone again because the company goes bust, because they were never going to keep the company going. They just wanted to make a quick win. We also see that there are companies that just don't have sustainability and will close up right away after many years of being together and just completely abandon their people. And then we also see where they get you in, and you all of a sudden are making, 100K months. And then poof, magically, they changed the payment structure. Well, that's not what they sold you when they came in. They were happy to let you build to this level and make all kinds of money off your effort. And then magically, they dramatically change the contract and your compensation. So they encourage you to get to a point to where it's basically residual. But then when you get there, they penalize you and say, well, we can't keep paying you if you're not going to keep working on our behalf. We're not just going to pay you to be comfortable anymore. Well, you didn't. Actually, I was working 80 hours. I've seen this happen with people where they will work 80 hours a month to get it to that point. And so, yes, that's the whole point. The whole point is that what they will sell you is residual income, that your efforts one time keep paying you over and over again. Well, if that's what you're going to sell me, then your payment structure needs to stay the same. So because the regulations are changing, government regulations, because these companies can change the rules, and frankly, there's not a lot of immediate cause and effect to them, meaning there's not a lot of consequence that you can hold them account to, because many of them are shady. If you have made one work, that is great. And I'm very happy for you. And so I'm sharing this podcast episode to help you scale that. But like I said, because it waters down a personal brand, or really any company, it can confuse people. You're now having to market two different things. And people say, well, wait a minute, do you still do, in my case, Akashic Records, or are you doing oils now? What's happening, right? And when a buyer is confused, they don't buy. And so if your whole community is confused, or they feel like they're getting whiplash because they don't know what you do anymore, that is not only going to cap your income potentially, but it is potentially going to reduce your income depending on the situation. So I felt obligated to share that perspective with you so that you can really make an informed decision. All right. Well, I hope this served you today. And if you are enjoying the scale conversation, you're saying to yourself, I really am ready to scale my company to the next level. There are two options to do that with me right now. One is through my Scale Mastermind, which is a very intimate group of people because of the high touch nature of that, and then one-on-one work. So if that is something that speaks to you, you just say, oh, okay, I would really like help with this, then please either message me on social media or email my team, clientcare@souljourneys.ca, and we will reach out and to start that conversation with you to make sure that whatever we invite you into is really going to be of high service to your goals. So in the meantime, if this was of high service to you today, I would love to hear what popped for you. Feel free to reach out and let me know. If you feel that this would be beneficial to others, please feel free to share that. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening. Before you go, if you would like to have a chance to have your name and business featured on the Gold Standard podcast, hop on over to where you listen to this podcast and leave a review. If you're selected, you'll have your name and business featured on our show. And in the meantime, we wish you tons of financial blessings, and we'll see you soon for the next Making Millions transmission from Mother Malia.